Hey guys, this is SoFlo Josh, and today finally Chevy has unveiled the electric Chevy Silverado. So let's get right into this video. So the Silverado has been a known nameplate within the automaker for many years to come, and it's really cool that it's actually going to be a great competitor towards the Ford F-150 Lightning. So let's go ahead and get into the specs here. So the expected range that GM is calculating for the work truck and the RST trim, which are the two trims that were revealed with the most detail, there was a Trail Boss trim that was announced as well, is around 400 miles of range. Now, this could vary depending on what kind of climate you're in. If you're in more of a colder climate, up north in the Appalachian Mountains, in the Colorado Rockies, then it could actually probably be around 350. We would have to see because this is only an estimate, so this isn't the full-on, range that they currently have for when this vehicle comes out. And let me mention as well that this model will be built in 2023, with the 2024 model year being the version that it'll be coming out as. So keep that in mind. So the next thing up I want to talk about is the 664 horsepower with 780 pound-feet of torque. So this is going to be available via the max power wide open watts mode. It's only for the RST trim. You can't get it in the work truck trim. I kind of wish they can offer that in a work truck trim. That would be a pretty cool one to offer. And GM is estimating 0 to 60 in around 4.5 seconds, which I have to say is pretty good for a pickup truck. Remember, with the fact that it's a battery vehicle, of course it's going to be a lot. It's going to be weighing a lot more than its gasoline counterpart because of the batteries itself. But I think that it's a pretty cool thing that 4.5 seconds. I mean, who would have thought we were going to be saying that about pickup trucks? Pickup trucks going to be fast as Superman. Let's go ahead into the next one. Standard DC fast charger. It's going to be up to 350 kilowatts on the work truck and the RST. This is going to be really good for the work truck, especially as well as the RST as regular consumers, but work truck primarily because they need to get those vehicles as fast as they can to the next on-site area. And I'm sure that we're going to see some kind of electrical charging stations popping up for construction sites very soon. It's going to be a really cool thing to see these things. I want to see how many people are actually going to convert from gasoline to this new EV Silverado, as well as the EV version of the F-150. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to come up to 10.25 kilowatts of off-board power on the work truck and RST with optional equipment. So this is going to be really good for those equipments that you need to use on site. Like I mentioned, that this is going to be probably one of the best trucks or closest to the best truck to get for on work site. I see this as a big win for workers on work site, of course. Not so much people who are just regularly driving the RST trim, because remember, people will probably buy this. It'll be half and half. There's going to be people who are actually going to be using this for work and so forth, while there's going to be people who are just driving this around because it's a status. Oh, I have an electric pickup truck. Look at me, kind of thing. But yeah, it's going to be a huge win for the workers, of course. Now, it's going to have, for the RST trim, it's going to have available 10,000 pounds of max trailering and up to 1,300 pounds of payload for the RST trim only. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the work truck. The work truck actually makes less horsepower and less pound-feet of torque. So it currently makes 510 horsepower and 615 pound-feet of torque. Also, it will be doing 8,000 pounds of towing and 1,200 pounds of payload. Now, after the initial launch of the work truck and the RST trim, Chevy's going to go ahead and increase the amount to 20,000 pounds of max trailering with a max towing package. So this is going to be cool. I wonder if they're going to do this via over-the-air update, kind of like what Tesla does, where you can pay for a certain feature, but it already comes on the vehicle. Instead of having to buy a different vehicle with that certain equipment. I think that would be a really huge win for those who are looking for that. And even for me, like if I was in the market for an electric EV and I worked on a work site, how would that work? Would I have to go to the dealership and, you know, buy a new Silverado EV, or would I just have to do an over-the-air update that I just pay and it increases my monthly payment for the bill, but at the end of the day I'm getting that 20,000 pounds max trailering with that max towing package, which is a pretty cool thing. I mean, if let's be honest, tell me in the comments below. I think that's a pretty cool thing to think about, especially for the fleets on offer. So let's go ahead and talk about the styling. So for me personally, the styling in the front, I don't really like it that much. I do like the fact that the light bar goes all across the front end. I mean, almost every EV is going to start to do that. You're going to see that with a huge trend of all EVs. Even in the rear, it kind of has somewhat of a similar aspect to it with the rear lights, though they look more traditional compared to what Ford is offering, where it's a full-on with LED light on the rear. The rear doesn't look too bad. I mean, it still has that step that you can get into for their bed. You can see a section of it on the rear on this picture I'm going to show you now. It looks like the C-pillar area looks almost identical to an Avalanche, but it also looks identical to the GMC Hummer EV. Now, this isn't a pickup truck where the bed is separated from the cabin. No. This is a pickup truck where everything is basically completely put together. So the cool aspect, one of my favorite features that I've seen so far about this, is what they did was they took it from the Chevy Avalanche, which was the accessibility of putting items from the bed into the cabin space. And you can even take off the window area, which is another cool aspect to think about. It's for max, you know, things to put inside the bed area into the trunk. And the cool thing is that the back seats have a hard plastic material in it from what it looks in the pictures, so it doesn't get as damaged on the rear for the rear seats. So that's a cool thing, and I really like the fact that GM has really thought of this aspect of increasing that overall volume in the rear trunk, the rear bed into the cabin space. And you know, you could fit perfectly a, you know, sofa in that truck bed all the way down into the cabin space. So keep that in mind. I really do like that feature, and I hope that actually comes to the Sierra EV that they're going to be coming out with. So let's talk about the cabin for a second. I really do like this cabin space. Something about this cabin looks more premium than what Chevy has ever offered for the Silverado. I do like the way the screen is set up. It's one of those unanimously connected screens, almost like what some of the other automaker brands do. The shift lever is where the traditional shift lever should always be, is in the column, of course, which is a pretty cool thing. And it's not one of those regular shifters where you pull all the way down. It's one that stays in the middle every single time you go back to reverse, neutral, and drive. It just stays in the middle. It doesn't move. But I really do like this cabin. The cabin looks very premium, especially with this RST trim that I'm showing you here. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. Let me know, do you like the Silverado better than the F-150 EV, or do you like the Silverado? You want to see what Ram has in store? Maybe Ram has something hiding there. You know, Stellantis has something hiding there, and I can't wait to see it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.